Noah Baker looked up at the night sky from his backyard in Lakeside, Ohio. The stars shone brightly against the dark canvas. He was 12 years old with messy brown hair and bright blue eyes that lit up whenever he faced a challenge. Tonight, he had sneaked out after bedtime with his small telescope. His parents thought he was asleep, but the meteor shower predicted for tonight was too exciting to miss. Noah had always loved puzzles. His room was filled with Rubik's cubes, logic games, and math books. At school, his teachers often found him solving college-level problems during lunch breaks. Other kids played sports or video games, but Noah found the greatest joy in figuring things out. As he adjusted his telescope, a flash of light caught his eye. It was too bright and moved too strangely to be a shooting star. The light zigzagged across the sky, then suddenly dropped straight down toward the woods behind his house. "That's not normal," Noah whispered to himself. He grabbed his flashlight and jacket, then quietly slipped out the back gate. His heart raced as he entered the dark woods, but his curiosity was stronger than his fear. The light had led him to Miller's Pond, a small body of water about half a mile from his house. As he pushed through the last of the bushes, Noah stopped. Suddenly, there at the edge of the pond was something impossible. A small silver craft about the size of his dad's car hovered just above the water. It made no sound. Soft blue lights pulsed along its smooth surface. Noah blinked hard, wondering if he was dreaming. Then a door opened in the side of the craft. Light spilled out onto the water's surface, and a figure stepped out. Noah ducked behind a tree, peering carefully around the trunk. The figure was tall and thin, with skin that seemed to shimmer like the surface of the pond. It had 2 arms and 2 legs like a human, but its movements were more fluid, as if its joints worked differently. "Hello, young human," a voice said. "You can come out, I mean no harm." Noah's mouth went dry. He thought about running, but where would he go? And would he ever forgive himself for missing whatever was about to happen? Slowly, he stepped out from behind the tree. "How did you know I was here?" Noah asked, proud that his voice barely shook. The figure made a sound that might have been a laugh. "Your curiosity creates patterns in the air. Our species can sense such things. My name is Ambassador Zix. I represent the Galactic Council." Noah's mind raced. Aliens were real. A Galactic Council existed, and one of them was standing right in front of him, talking as casually as if they were meeting at a school science fair. "I'm Noah," he said, stepping closer. "Noah Baker. Why are you here? And why are you talking to me and not like the president?" Zix's face shifted, parts of it moving in ways a human face couldn't. "The Council is considering Earth for membership, but we have questions about your species' problem-solving abilities. Before we approach your leaders, we need to understand if humans think in ways that would benefit the galactic community." Noah frowned. "And you're asking a kid about this?" "Young minds often see solutions that older ones miss," Zix said. "Our research shows that human children possess unique cognitive flexibility. Also, approaching your government officials first tends to cause complications." Zix reached into a pocket and pulled out a small cube that glowed with shifting colors. "The Council faces a problem. A puzzle that has stumped the brightest minds of 17 galactic species for over 30 years. Before Earth can join the Council, someone must solve it." Noah looked at the cube, watching as patterns flowed across its surface. Something about those patterns seemed almost familiar, like a song he had heard long ago, but couldn't quite remember. "Can I try?" Noah asked, reaching out his hand. Zix tilted his head. "That is precisely why I am here, Noah Baker. To find someone who might see what the rest of the galaxy has missed." The next day, Noah could barely focus in class. Had last night really happened? The small metal card Zix had given him felt heavy in his pocket. The alien had told him it would guide him to their meeting place after school. When the final bell rang, Noah slipped away before his friends could ask about his plans. He followed the card's soft vibrations, which grew stronger as he walked toward Lake Erie. Soon he found himself at an old boathouse that most people in town avoided because it looked ready to collapse. The metal card glowed bright blue when he held it up to the door. The rusty lock clicked open. Inside, what looked like an ordinary closet turned out to be an elevator. Noah stepped in, his heart pounding as the floor dropped beneath him. The elevator descended for almost a minute before opening into a vast underground chamber. The space was filled with strange equipment and screens showing symbols Noah didn't recognize. But what caught his attention were the beings moving around the room. There were at least a dozen aliens of different shapes and sizes. Some looked almost human, while others had extra limbs or eyes or skin in colors Noah had never seen before. Zix approached from across the room. "Welcome to the Earth Observation Base," Zix said. "We have maintained this facility for 73 years. All this has been under Lake Erie and nobody knew?" Noah asked in amazement. "Your species tends to avoid places you believe are dangerous or uninteresting," Zix explained. "It is a useful trait for us. Now let me show you the puzzle." Zix led Noah to the center of the room where a large device stood. It was shaped like a dome about 10 feet across. Inside, lights and shapes moved in complex patterns. Sometimes they formed solid objects that twisted in impossible ways before dissolving again. "This is the Founder's Challenge," Zix said. "It was created by the species that established the Galactic Council before they disappeared. They left instructions that whoever solves it will gain significant influence in galactic politics. Every major civilization has tried and failed." Noah watched the patterns, fascinated. "What exactly am I supposed to do?" "Find the solution," said a new voice. A short, round alien with purple skin approached. "I am Delegate Morp of the Science Guild. We believe the puzzle contains a message or technology of great importance." Noah studied the shifting patterns. "Have you tried matching the movements to music? Some of these look like sound waves." The aliens looked at each other. "An interesting approach," Morp said. "Our scientists have applied 16,000 different analytical methods, but perhaps not that specific one." For hours, Noah watched the puzzle, taking notes and asking questions. The alien seemed surprised by his way of thinking, especially when he compared parts of the puzzle to games he played at school. On his way out, Noah nearly ran into Ms. Carter, his science teacher. She froze when she saw him coming out of the boathouse. "Noah," she asked, "what are you doing here? I've been worried since you missed our science club meeting." Noah's mind raced for an excuse, but before he could speak, the door opened again, and Zix stepped out. Ms. Carter's eyes widened and she stumbled backward. "What? Who?" "It appears we have a complication," Zix said calmly. "Ms. Carter, I can explain," Noah said quickly. "This is Ambassador Zix. He's from the Galactic Council. They're testing Earth to see if we can join them." Ms. Carter looked from Noah to the alien and back again. Instead of screaming or running away, she took a deep breath and straightened her glasses. "Is this why your last homework assignment had equations that aren't taught until college?" she asked Noah. Noah nodded sheepishly. Ms. Carter turned to Zix. "I assume you're keeping this secret from our governments for now?" "Correct," Zix replied, seeming impressed by her composure. "Well then," Ms. Carter said, "if Noah is representing Earth in some kind of intelligence test, he shouldn't do it alone. I have 3 degrees in science and mathematics. I can help." Zix considered this for a moment. Adding an adult human perspective could be valuable, and containing this information would be difficult now. Noah felt relief wash over him. The puzzle was fascinating but overwhelming. Having Ms. Carter's help would make a huge difference. The puzzle changes every day, Noah told her excitedly. "Tomorrow it will show new patterns. Will you come with me after school?" Ms. Carter nodded, a determined look on her face. "Absolutely. Earth's future might depend on it." For the next 2 weeks, Noah and Ms. Carter spent every afternoon at the alien base. They watched as the puzzle changed, trying to understand its patterns. The alien scientists used complex equipment and spoke about quantum physics and 11-dimensional mathematics. Noah listened but found himself thinking in much simpler terms. One day, as a section of the puzzle formed a spiral pattern that pulsed with light, Noah jumped up from his seat. "That looks like the game we play in gym class," he exclaimed. The aliens turned to stare at him. "What game?" asked Morp, the purple scientist. "Duck, duck, goose," said Noah. We sit in a circle. One person walks around tapping heads saying duck until they say goose. Then that person has to chase them around the circle. The aliens looked confused. Ms. Carter stepped in to explain. It's a children's game that teaches basic rules and fair play. The pattern does resemble the movement path. She pointed to the spiral in the puzzle. See how it loops back on itself? Zix studied the pattern. You believe this advanced puzzle references a human children's game? Noah shook his head. Not exactly. But yesterday I noticed another pattern that reminded me of hopscotch. And before that, there was one like connect the dots. He walked around the dome, pointing out different sections. This part moves like a seesaw. This looks like the rules for tag, and this, he pointed to a complex shifting grid. It's like musical chairs. The shapes are trying to find their place before the music stops. The alien scientists muttered among themselves. One tall blue alien named Vex stepped forward. This is ridiculous, Vex said. The founders were the most advanced species in the galaxy. They wouldn't base their greatest puzzle on primitive children's activities. But Zix seemed interested. What if they would? The founders believed in universal principles. Perhaps games that teach basic concepts exist across all worlds. Noah thought about this. Every kid I know plays these games. Do alien kids play games too? The room grew quiet. Then a small green alien in the corner spoke up. On my world, younglings play a game where they must find hiding spots before a light passes over them. It teaches stealth and spatial awareness. We have a similar game called hide and seek, Noah said excitedly. Soon other aliens were describing games from their homeworlds. Many were surprisingly similar to Earth games, though with different rules or purposes. Ms. Carter pulled out her tablet and started making a list. Noah, I think you're onto something. These aren't just random children's games. They're developmental tools that teach fundamental concepts, taking turns, patterns, predictions, spatial relations. Noah nodded eagerly. The puzzle keeps showing us these patterns, but nobody recognized them because they were looking for complex science stuff. He walked back to the dome and watched the pattern shift. I think the puzzle is asking us to play. Play? Morp repeated, blinking his three eyes in confusion. Yes, Noah said. Not just observe or solve equations. We need to interact with it like a game. Ms. Carter studied her notes. The puzzle might be testing for something besides pure intelligence, maybe creativity or adaptability. Noah approached the dome and reached out his hand. The aliens gasped, some backing away as if expecting danger. But when Noah's fingers touched the surface, the pattern suddenly froze. Then they began moving again, but now following the motion of his hand. It responds to touch, Ms. Carter exclaimed. Noah moved his hand in a circle and the patterns followed. When he drew a star with his finger, the lights formed a perfect five-pointed star. It's like Simon Says, Noah laughed. It copies what I do. The aliens crowded around, amazement on their various faces. Zix placed a long, thin hand on Noah's shoulder. In 3 decades, no one has made the puzzle respond this way, Zix said. You've made more progress in 2 weeks than entire scientific teams made in years. Noah beamed with pride, but he knew they were still far from solving the complete puzzle. The patterns were responding, but what was the ultimate goal? What message were the founders trying to convey? We need to understand the rules better, Noah said, watching as the puzzle returned to its normal state when he stepped back. Every game has rules. News of Noah's progress spread quickly through the Galactic Council. More aliens arrived at the Lake Erie base to observe the human child who had made the puzzle respond. Not everyone was happy about it. This is unacceptable, growled Commander Drax of the Vorn Empire. He was tall with red scaly skin and sharp teeth. Humans are barely space-capable. They should not have access to founder technology. A meeting was called to discuss the situation. Noah and Ms. Carter sat at a large round table surrounded by alien delegates. Ambassador Zix stood to address the group. The human child has made more progress with the puzzle in 3 weeks than our combined efforts over 30 years, Zix said. The evidence suggests the founders intended their challenge to be approached with a different kind of thinking. Commander Drax slammed his fist on the table. The Vorn Empire has dedicated our best military minds to this puzzle. We will not be outdone by a primitive species, especially not by a youngling who believes the greatest mystery in the galaxy is some kind of plaything. Noah shrank in his seat, feeling small among these powerful beings. Ms. Carter put a protective hand on his shoulder. Perhaps that's exactly why Noah is succeeding where others have failed, she said calmly. He approaches problems without your preconceptions. The debate continued for hours. Finally, it was decided that Noah could continue working on the puzzle, but under stricter supervision. Several delegates would observe all sessions, and Noah would need to share any discoveries immediately. As they left the meeting, Zix pulled Noah aside. Be careful around Commander Drax, the ambassador warned. The Vorn would rather see the puzzle destroyed than solved by another species. Meanwhile, Noah's parents had noticed changes in their son. He was distant at dinner and tired in the mornings. They asked questions that Noah struggled to answer. I'm just working on a big science project with Miss Carter, he told them, hating the lie but knowing the truth was too big to share. Even worse was the growing distance between Noah and his best friend Sammy. They had been inseparable since kindergarten, but now Sammy felt left out. You never have time to hang out anymore, Sammy complained during lunch. You're always rushing off after school with Miss Carter. What's so important anyway? I can't tell you, Noah said. I wish I could, but I just can't. Sammy turned away. Whatever. I guess we're not friends anymore. That afternoon, Noah sat alone in front of the puzzle, feeling miserable. Ms. Carter was meeting with some alien scientists in another room, so he had a moment to himself. Maybe I should just quit, he muttered. I'm probably wasting everyone's time anyway. As if responding to his mood, the puzzle's lights dimmed. The patterns moved more slowly, forming shapes that reminded Noah of rain clouds. Great. Even the puzzle is sad now. Noah sighed. He watched the patterns shift. Something about them seemed familiar in a different way. Then he realized they looked like the facial expressions his little sister made when she was upset. The puzzle was showing emotion. Are you trying to communicate with me? Noah asked, feeling silly talking to the dome. The patterns swirled faster, brightening. They formed a shape like a simple smiley face, then dissolved back into complex patterns. Noah jumped up, excitement replacing his gloom. You are alive, or at least you understand me. He ran to find Miss Carter and the others, but as he reached the door, it swung open. Commander Drax stood there with 2 other Vorn soldiers. The Council has reconsidered, Drax said coldly. Humans are too unpredictable to be trusted with this technology. You will be escorted home and memory wiped of this experience. But I just made a breakthrough, Noah protested. The puzzle is responsive, it has emotions, or at least it can recognize and show them. Drax's expression didn't change. All the more reason to remove you. Come with us now. Noah looked desperately around the room. Where was Zix? Where was Ms. Carter? The Vorn soldiers moved toward him, devices in their hands that Noah guessed were probably not friendly. In that moment, Noah made a decision. He ran straight for the puzzle dome. Noah reached the puzzle dome and placed both hands on its surface. Help me, he cried out. The dome flashed with brilliant light, temporarily blinding everyone in the room. When Commander Drax and his soldiers could see again, they found a glowing shield of energy between them and Noah. Impossible, Drax hissed. The puzzle is protecting him. The door burst open and Ms. Carter rushed in with Ambassador Zix and several other council members. What is happening here? Zix demanded. The council did not authorize any change in status. The human has activated unknown founder technology, Drax said, pointing at the shield. This proves humans are dangerous. While the aliens argued, Noah focused on the puzzle. The patterns now moved in sync with his breathing. He closed his eyes and tried to communicate with his thoughts. I need to understand you better, he thought. What are you trying to show us? Images flashed in Noah's mind, not just games, but scenes of children learning on different worlds. He saw alien young ones taking their first steps, learning to communicate, working together to build structures, sharing food. When he opened his eyes, Noah knew what he needed to do. I have to go home, he announced. The shield around him faded. Everyone turned to stare at him. "Go home?" Ms. Carter asked. "Noah, what's wrong?" "Nothing's wrong," Noah said. "I just need to see my sister." After much discussion, it was agreed that Noah could return home, but would come back the next day. Zix insisted on posting guards to protect him from Drax's forces. That evening, Noah watched his 6-year-old sister Katie doing her homework at the kitchen table. She was drawing a picture of their family holding hands. "Katie," Noah asked, "can I see what you're learning in school?" Katie happily showed him her workbooks. They were filled with basic matching games, pattern recognition, simple counting exercises, and color identification. "This is it," Noah whispered to himself. He grabbed his backpack and started placing items inside. Katie's workbooks, some simple toys, building blocks, and a music box that played a simple tune. The next morning, Noah brought everything to the alien base. Ms. Carter was waiting for him. "I figured it out last night," Noah told her excitedly. "The puzzle is showing us how intelligent life learns." He spread Katie's workbooks on a table. "Look at these exercises. They teach basic concepts that all thinking beings need to understand. Patterns, counting, relationships, emotions." Noah pointed to the puzzle dome. "Yesterday it showed me visions of alien children learning. They all learn the same basic concepts, just in different ways." Ms. Carter studied the workbooks, then looked at the puzzle. "You think the founders created this puzzle based on developmental learning?" "Yes," Noah said. "The puzzle isn't testing advanced science. It's testing if we remember how we learned in the first place." He approached the dome with his bag of items. "The puzzle is trying to communicate, but it needs to start with the basics, like teaching a baby to talk." Noah placed a set of colored blocks in front of the dome. The patterns inside shifted to match the colors. When Noah arranged the blocks in a simple pattern, the lights formed the same pattern. "It's working," Ms. Carter exclaimed. Noah took out the music box and wound it up. As the simple melody played, the puzzle's patterns moved in rhythm with the music. With each item Noah introduced, the puzzle responded more clearly. Ambassador Zix and other aliens gathered to watch, amazed by what they were seeing. The most advanced civilizations in the galaxy couldn't solve this because they overcomplicated it, Ms. Carter realized. They forgot the fundamentals of how intelligence develops. Noah nodded. The founders wanted to make sure whoever solved the puzzle still understood the basic building blocks of learning. Maybe they thought that was important for some reason. Commander Drax pushed his way to the front of the crowd. "This is still just primitive play, it proves nothing." But even as he spoke, the puzzle dome was changing. The random patterns were organizing themselves, forming more complex and coherent shapes. In the center, a clear image was taking form. A map of the galaxy with certain stars glowing brighter than others. "It's showing us something," Noah whispered. "We're finally starting to understand each other." The next day, Noah knew he needed more help. The puzzle was communicating now, but he still didn't fully understand the message. The galaxy map had shown specific points of light, but their meaning wasn't clear. "I need to talk to my friend Sammy," Noah told Ms. Carter. "His parents work with computers and music. They might have tools that could help." Ms. Carter looked worried. "The council wants to keep this secret." "I won't tell him everything," Noah promised. "Just enough to get his help." After school, Noah found Sammy at the bike racks. His friend started to walk away when he saw Noah. "Sammy, wait," Noah called. "I need your help with something important." Sammy turned, his face still showing hurt. "Now you need my help? After ignoring me for weeks?" "I know I've been a bad friend," Noah said. "But I couldn't tell you what I was doing. It's kind of a secret project." Sammy raised an eyebrow. "What kind of secret project?" Noah chose his words carefully. "It's about communication. I'm trying to understand a pattern that might be a message, but I need better tools. Your dad has those music programs that show sound as visual patterns, right?" Sammy's interest was piqued. "Yeah, he does. Are you talking about those weird sound patterns you were drawing in your notebook last week?" Noah nodded eagerly. "Exactly. Could you ask your dad if we could use his equipment?" Sammy thought for a moment. "He's at a conference this weekend, but I know how to use the programs." I could help you myself. That was even better. Noah wouldn't have to explain the alien connection to an adult. That would be perfect. Noah also decided to visit his grandfather, Frank Baker. Grandpa Frank had been an engineer for 40 years and knew all about old machines and how things worked. When Noah showed him drawings of the puzzle patterns, his grandfather studied them with interest. "These remind me of analog wave patterns," Grandpa Frank said. "Before everything went digital, we used to see signals like this on oscilloscopes. Where did you find these?" "It's for a science project," Noah said. "Could you help me understand what they might mean?" Grandpa Frank nodded. "Bring your project to my workshop tomorrow. I still have some old equipment that might help." The next day was Saturday. Noah brought Sammy and Grandpa Frank to meet Miss Carter at a small storage building near the lake. It wasn't the main alien base, but a separate facility Zix had set up for their work. Inside, they had created a smaller version of the puzzle patterns using Earth technology. "This is your secret project?" Sammy asked, eyes wide at the swirling light display. "It's awesome." "Yes, and it's very important," Noah said. "Ms. Carter and I believe it's trying to communicate something." Grandpa Frank walked around the display, stroking his gray beard. "These patterns have structure. They're not random." "That's what we think too," Ms. Carter said. "We've recorded some of the patterns. Sammy, could you run them through your dad's music visualization software?" Sammy set up his laptop and began processing the recordings. Meanwhile, Grandpa Frank connected one of his old machines to the display. "This is an analog pattern analyzer," he explained. "It was used to find hidden signals in radio waves during the Cold War. As they worked, Ambassador Zix arrived with another alien Noah hadn't met before. "This is Dr. Krell," Zix introduced. "He specializes in neural development across species." Dr. Krell had blue skin and 4 arms. He carried a device that looked like a silver helmet. "The Council is interested in your theory about developmental learning," he told Noah. "This scanner can map brain activity during problem solving." Noah had built a small team of helpers, each bringing different skills. Sammy's music software showed how the puzzle patterns created harmonies when converted to sound. Grandpa Frank's equipment revealed hidden structures in the signals. Dr. Krell's brain scanner helped them understand how different minds processed the same information. By the end of the day, they had made significant progress. The galaxy map from the puzzle corresponded to what Grandpa Frank called developmental nodes, places where intelligent life followed similar learning patterns despite evolving independently. "It's like the founders found universal constants in how minds develop," Ms. Carter said. "No matter what planet you're from, you learn certain concepts in a similar order." Noah felt excited but also worried. Commander Drax and his Vorn soldiers had been watching from a distance all day. They clearly weren't happy about humans getting closer to solving the puzzle. "We're getting close to something big," Noah told his team as they prepared to leave. "I can feel it." What none of them noticed was the small device Drax had planted under their workstation, silently copying all their discoveries. Sunday morning, Noah woke to the sound of his little sister Katie jumping on his bed. "Wake up, Noah. You promised to play with me today," she said, bouncing happily. Noah groaned. He had been up late thinking about the puzzle. But he had promised Katie they would spend the day together. His parents were concerned he wasn't spending enough time with family. "Okay, I'm up," Noah said, sitting up and rubbing his eyes. "What do you want to play?" Katie wanted to build a fort in the living room. They spent the morning gathering blankets, pillows, and chairs to create a cozy hideout. Inside the fort, they played board games and told stories. While they played, Noah's mind kept going back to the puzzle. There was still something missing in his understanding. The team had made progress yesterday, but they hadn't found the final solution. Katie noticed his distraction. "You're thinking about your secret project again," she said. "Mom says you're too young to worry so much." Noah smiled. "Sometimes kids can see things that adults miss." Like in hide and seek, Katie nodded. "I always find the best hiding spots because I'm smaller." Something clicked in Noah's mind. "Katie, you're a genius," he exclaimed, giving her a big hug. "I know," she giggled. not understanding why. That afternoon, Noah called an emergency meeting at the lake facility. His whole team gathered, along with Ambassador Zix and several council members. Even Commander Drax was there, standing in the corner with his arms crossed. "I know what we've been missing," Noah announced. "The puzzle isn't just about how all species learn. It's about what we learn from each other," he explained his realization. "When Katie and I played today, she taught me things without even trying. That's what the puzzle has been showing us, that different perspectives matter." Noah turned to Dr. Krell. "Your brain scan showed that different species process the puzzle patterns in unique ways, right?" The blue alien nodded. "Correct. The neural pathways activated vary significantly between species. That's the key," Noah said. "The founders didn't want one species to solve the puzzle alone. They wanted us to combine our different ways of thinking." Noah gathered everyone around the small puzzle model they had built. "Sammy, play the musical pattern you found yesterday." As the strange melody filled the room, Noah asked Grandpa Frank to adjust his analog device to display the wave patterns. Then he asked Dr. Krell to project the brain scan patterns from different species. "Now watch," Noah said. He began arranging colored blocks in a circle on the floor. Then he asked Katie, who had come with their mother to bring Noah his forgotten lunch, to join them. "Katie, remember how we play musical chairs? Can you show everyone?" Katie happily demonstrated, walking around the circle of blocks as the music played. When Noah stopped the music, she sat down on the floor next to the nearest block. As she did this, something remarkable happened. The puzzle's light patterns suddenly aligned perfectly with the brain scan patterns, the musical waves, and the circle of blocks. Everything connected in a harmonious pattern. The small puzzle model began to glow brighter than ever before. A three-dimensional image appeared above it, a complete map of the galaxy with specific points connected by lines of light. "It's a network," Ms. Carter whispered in awe. "A network of worlds." Ambassador Zix stepped forward, eyes wide. "These are the original founder worlds. We've been searching for their home planets for centuries." Even Commander Drax looked shocked. He moved closer to see the map. "But how did—" he began. "It was Katie," Noah explained. "The final piece was spontaneous play. Not trying to solve the puzzle, but just playing naturally. The puzzle needed to see different ages and species working together without forcing it." The map continued to expand, showing more details about each world. Text appeared in an ancient language that Ambassador Zix said was the founder's writing. "We'll need time to translate this," Zix said. "But you've done it, Noah. You've truly solved the puzzle." Noah shook his head. "We solved it together. That was the whole point." In the corner, Commander Drax silently slipped away. His device had recorded everything, and the Vorn Empire would not be happy about this development. 1 month later, Noah stood in a vast chamber on a space station orbiting Earth. He wore a special blue suit made just for him. Next to him stood his family, Mom, Dad, and Katie, all dressed in similar outfits and looking around in amazement at their surroundings. The circular room was filled with representatives from over 50 alien species. Some looked almost human, while others were so different that Noah couldn't even guess which parts were their heads or limbs. At the center of the chamber was a raised platform where the Galactic Council's leadership sat. Ambassador Zix stood at a podium addressing the gathering. "Today marks a historic moment," Zix announced. "For the first time in 10,000 years, the Founders' Challenge has been solved. As written in our oldest laws, Earth will now join the Galactic Council with full membership status." Applause and various sounds of approval filled the chamber. Noah felt his face grow warm as many eyes turned toward him. "But the most important discovery," Zix continued, "was not just the location of the Founder Worlds, it was the message they left for us. A reminder that true wisdom comes from maintaining balance between technological advancement and the fundamental experiences that shape all intelligent life." The translation of the Founder's message had revealed that the ancient species had not disappeared, but had chosen to separate themselves from the galactic community when they saw younger species becoming too focused on technology while losing touch with their developmental roots. A tall, elegant alien with flowing robes approached Noah and his family. She was introduced as the High Chancellor of the Council. "Young Noah Baker," she said, her voice musical and gentle. "Your contribution will change the course of galactic history. The Council would like to offer you a position as Earth's first junior ambassador." Noah's parents looked stunned. His father found his voice first. "But he's just a child. He needs to go to school to grow up normally." The High Chancellor nodded. "Of course. His duties would be part-time and educational. Noah has shown us something invaluable, that the perspective of the young is essential to balanced wisdom." Ms. Carter, now appointed as Earth's education representative, stepped forward. "The Council has proposed an exchange program. Noah would spend 1 day each week here, while young aliens would visit Earth schools to learn from our children." "And I get to come too sometimes," Katie added excitedly. On the other side of the chamber, Commander Drax watched with barely contained anger. The Vorn Empire had tried to use Noah's discovery to find the Founder worlds before anyone else, but their ships had been unable to approach. The planets were protected by technology that responded only to vessels carrying mixed species crews working in harmony, another safeguard the Founders had created. After the ceremony, Noah and his family were given a tour of the space station. Through huge windows they could see Earth below them, a beautiful blue marble in the blackness of space. "It looks so small from here," Noah said. "But it held the answer the whole time." "What will happen next?" his mother asked Ms. Carter. "Earth will begin a careful introduction to galactic society," Ms. Carter explained. "It will take years, but we'll have help." The Council was impressed by how Noah's team brought different perspectives together. Sammy and Grandpa Frank were already working with alien scientists to develop new learning programs. Dr. Krell had established a research center to study how different species could learn from each other. Noah felt a tug on his sleeve. Katie was pointing at a group of alien children watching them from across the room. "Can we play with them?" she asked. Noah smiled and nodded. As they approached the alien young ones, Noah saw they were holding objects that looked like toys from their worlds. One of them held out a strange glowing cube to Noah. The alien child made a gesture that needed no translation, an invitation to play together. And as human and alien children began to share their games, Noah knew this was exactly what the Founders had hoped for all along. The greatest challenges in the universe couldn't be solved by advanced technology alone, but by remembering how to see the world with the fresh, open perspective of a child. From that day forward, Earth became known across the galaxy not for its military power or technological achievements, but for preserving something many advanced civilizations had forgotten: the wisdom that comes from play, curiosity, and seeing old problems in new ways.